The last time Tesla traded over $300 was about 2 years ago, September 2022. And as we sit here today, it feels like that is just imminent. I hope everyone's doing well. Happy post earnings day. If you didn't check, go check Tesla stock now, up 21.5% today. I didn't make that up. 21.5% today. What an epic short squeeze, some want to call it. Some are calling it a gamma squeeze on our Discord. We're having talks about that. Let me give you the 2 cents. I'm not going to go into an earnings minute numbers thing. I'm going to go on a macro high level talk, and more specifically a little bit more on the stock itself. Now, first things first, Robotaxi event was a little bit disappointing in terms of stock price reaction. Falling 10% the day after. By the way, I hope you don't mind me walking around. I need to get some steps in today. 10% down the day after Robotaxi day was kind of a surprise. It was a little bit of a, it was obviously a nothing burger, but it was the opposite of that. It was kind of an ugly burger. And so this move counteracts all of that plus double that, really. So what that means for us, and why I think the street reacted the way they did, is number one, delivery estimates for the end of the year are 512,000 cars. It's quite high. That's an immediate short-term EPS adjustment that Wall Street has to make. Number two, Elon is guiding for 20 to 30% delivery growth next year. Huge growth. I think the street, even the bulls on the street, are closer to 13%. Like, not a lot. So 20 to 30% guidance is like massive. It's like double that, obviously. Now, whether or not that happens, that's kind of TBD. But it's important that Elon guided for that much. But here's the thing with, I think the biggest key of the report, and of course, stock price reaction is awesome, but that model, that new sub 30K model that they're talking about is still planned for the first half of next year. Meaning that Toyota Camry or Corolla-esque price point without ZEV credit or without EV credits is still planned for in the first half. Obviously, that's a completely new market share. And I talked about this on Herbert's channel when I was on his. You can go watch my video if you want. I talked about the market share at that price point. It gets nutty, right? Because the majority of people that buy cars, they're not buying $50,000 plus cars, $50,000 plus cars. People are buying that 30-ish thousand. Like, let's, we don't even want to talk about the $25,000 model. I think that's, a conversation for another day. But this model 2.5, if you want to call it, or whatever, right? I think that continual, we're already in quarter 4, 2024. If Tesla had no intentions of still releasing this car in the next 6 months, trust me, that line would not be in the earnings report. And the fact that Tesla is still not openly sharing too much about it, we haven't really seen any leaks about it or anything like that. Some people are saying it's just the Robotaxi plus steering wheel pedal, maybe. But the fact that they continually double down on every single earnings, and we were 6 months out from its projected estimation, bodes really, really well. Now, in terms of the stock price, we already on the weekly were on a bullish trend. On a daily, we just broke through the level that everyone was looking at for us to break over. And we have broken over past that handsomely, which is going to be the easiest way for me to walk, probably this way. So that being said, pretty much like the sky is the limit at this point, technically speaking. And I pay close attention to this, but when Wall Street analysts all come out and say in unison, Tesla is going to start with the 3, Tesla stock price is going to start with the 3, I pay attention. Similarly, in 2021, when all the analysts were coming out and saying Tesla is $1,000 stock, or back then, Tesla's $1 trillion market cap company, it's $1 trillion market cap, within 6 weeks of me noticing that everyone on CNBC, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, anyone that got interviewed about Tesla stock was talking about how it's $1 trillion market cap company. Within, actually not even 6 weeks, I would say within the month, Tesla hit $1 trillion. And what I'm hearing now, mind you, it's only one day after, but everyone and their mom that's an analyst on Wall Street is saying Tesla is a $300+ company. Now, mind you, with the massive day that we had today, it's not like that's a huge altering number, right? We're only like 40 bucks away from there. But remember, the last time Tesla was up over $300 even, and that was only briefly, was 2022 September. Try not to die as I cross the street here. 2022 September. And the year before that was when it hit all-time highs, as we all remember. I'm gonna try to sit down at this park for a second so I'm not huffing and puffing so much on the video. By the way, I appreciate everyone tuning in. I did share some news today. Abby and I are expecting a baby boy. Due date is March, so I'm super excited about that. That explains a little bit about the lack of frequency of videos, to be honest, just because we've been busy with everything there, as you could probably imagine. But we're super grateful. So we're feeling super blessed, and I appreciate everyone's congratulations as I shared it on X today. So anyways, that aside, let's forget about the bot. One big point of the auto business this quarter is that margins have grown again. Margins and energy is 30+% gross margin, completely nutty, right, this quarter. But just focus on the auto business, and this is why. When the auto unit economics are deteriorating in the way that it was in the last few years, what ends up happening often with Wall Street analysts is they don't even focus on the pie in the sky stuff. They go, okay, you're an automotive company, your unit economics in automotive are disgusting, they're deteriorating. We can't value you as a growth company right now, let alone even a flatline company. When your unit economics we're deteriorating with margins collapsing a little bit from interest rate hikes, lack of demand, Tesla buying down promos, all this sort of stuff. You kind of have this, like Wall Street says, walk the walk, don't just talk the talk. And the gross margin number that Tesla printed yesterday, the really strong one, just with respect to auto, shows that not only, and Dynamics called it today an inflection point, not only calls it like a bottoming, but an inflection point back upwards. The cost of goods sold on a car continues to fall. And now the auto business unit economics, I would argue, are in a healthy position. Not only can you value that portion of the business if you want it more like a growth, and you can throw in arguments like FSD helping that out as a service revenue, but then now you can focus on other divisions of the company that analysts would essentially discount, in my opinion, because the core company, the core portion of your company was not doing well. A lot of words to essentially say energy is going to start to matter. FSD is going to start to matter. Not, we get into next year and them saying that Ashok said that by 2025 or Q2 2025, 6 months from now, that's their projected timeline on FSD being safer than human. Man, this light on my face is great. Hit like for that. So with Tesla, there's a million stories, and I don't want to ramble on with everything, but I think the bottom line is this: the technicals are in our favor. We've broken through the resistance points here. Wall Street seems to be turning around on the stock, and it's easy, I guess, when the stock goes up 20%. The core business of Tesla has now stabilized, if not is now growing positively. People are thinking I'm weird sitting here talking to myself. Things I do for you guys. Forget about bot. FSD specifically next year will launch with driverless in certain cities. And we got a reiteration of that next year. And then on top of that, the cherry on top is the call it $30,000 Model 2.5 is still slated for the first half of next year. And we're in Q4 of 2024. There's no pushing of that. Again, I think we're going to get some sort of a launch and within the next couple of months, like an Apple-esque type of launch for that car. So the stars are aligning a little bit. I will dampen expectations by saying when a stock goes up 20-something% in a day, don't expect that for the next day. Don't expect that for a little bit, because I know we're kind of used to it a little bit with Tesla past years. Not the past years, the past 4+ years ago. But when stock goes up 21%, manage expectations, do whatever you need to do. Like today, for example, those January calls that I've talked about on this channel that I was hodling and I was massively up on, and then massively down on, I was up on massively again as I woke up this morning to my shock. So I sold half of those. We had this whole debate in our Discord about this. But anyways, do whatever you need to do to manage your expectations, manage your portfolio. Again, none of this is financial advice. You have to manage your own. And remember, don't just listen to what Wall Street has to say or what Elon has to say. Manage your personal finances in the way that makes sense to you. All right, much love. Yash signing off. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.